Shalom, Yasharala. This your brother Dawud Dot from GMS Tampa Bay #07, coming at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of great millstone that taught me this truth and that rule well. A salutation and much love for you. I can push this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions. All right, I'm going to jump into this here lesson, basically dealing on the war with the flesh, We all in these bodies, and we always war, the war we have, our main war is a spiritual war, and so, we struggling and warring with the things of our flesh, carnal things, just like, on a whole nother carnal sense, regular people, in the regular world, some people like, people who want to eat really healthy that were fat at one point in time, let's say they want to eat all the unhealthy foods, but then now they're trying to get a little discipline and now they want to eat all the healthy foods, even though they want to, eat these unhealthy foods, or eat healthy, these unhealthy foods are still crying out unto them, and that's more or less like, the fight that you have, you want to go do this, but then, you want to do this, but then these things are knocking at your door, and so I just wanted to pull out some scriptures, dealing with, that this is something that you're going to have to deal with, this is going to be your battle, your war, your main war is really with yourself, you fighting your flesh, that inner demon, and you're going to always have something on you. None of us is perfect. None of us is right. So you're going to always have these things that's constantly warring on the inside of you, and that's what you have to do, and as far as a personal testimony, coming into this truth, man, I learned that, man, you're going to catch all kind of hell, all kind of different levels. There's levels to this shit too, man. And it's just nonstop, but one thing I did learn in it all was, basically like week by week, every week is a different, trial and tribulation and things to learn from, we getting built up, like the scriptures say, as gold is refined and as silver is refined, but nevertheless, most of my battles is always in the flesh, a mental thing, something, something on the inside, or something like that, whether it's, dealing with patience with these damn Edomites and stuff like that I work with, or just, catching this hell and just how you deal with it, and, or, just certain little things like that, when, you look at certain things like that, your battle is on the inside, things that you, constantly battling, more or less on the inside of your mind, more or less to say, or whether it be, like I said, if you was a big person or whatever, and, or let's say if you have a thing for scratch off lottery tickets, the little scratch off games, right? And now all of a sudden you want to try to discipline yourself and be like, damn, every time I go in a store, my hand is itching to buy one of those scratch off tickets, and you trying to wean yourself off of that, and that's always a constant battle within yourself, that's what you got to constantly, fight that, and I heard this was said once before about alcoholics, somebody going to AA, or something like that, people who, are struggling to, break that habit or whatever, whatnot, and I guess this can go for any habit, but a person who's trying to break the drinking cycle or whatever, they're always, pretty much in rehab, or more or less to say, they're always in that state of so-called being sober until the next relapse. So they always pretty much in that state, they can go, dry, how they say dry, I ain't drink, and 42 years, it's been 42 years since I had a drink, but the moment they pick that drink back up again, they right back to where they started, or they just, they had, they lapsed after 42 years, they just had a big break, they right back to where they get. But what, they have to constantly fight that urge, But nevertheless, we just gonna get into the scriptures. This is the book of 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 4. It says, if Yahweh spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell and delivered them into chains of darkness, but reserved them to judgment. All right. Now we know that this on a way deeper level. This is really just talking about basically like the elect, These are the angels that were cast down into these chains of darkness. And what are the chains of darkness? These here bodies, all right? And this is where your fights and stuff is going to take place at, all right? Because we don't have the scriptures written on the inward part, so we're constantly going off, We're constantly going astray from what we're supposed to be doing, And, one of the key points to this is just how it is as long as we in these damn, like it says here, into these chains of darkness, as long as we still strapped in these chains of darkness, we're going to always have this here battle, this here fight, we always going to be into this here war. All right. This is the book of Ephesians chapter 6 verse 12. It says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood. All right. So like I'm saying, like, you know, in this this battle and stuff like that, you're not necessarily, you know, when you come into this truth and you decide to serve the Lord and stuff like that, you know, the moment you decide to put on that you know, that uniform, the so-called fight the Lord's army, it's not a bunch of, you know, actual Edomites and people, this and that, that's starting to roll up on you. That's it's like, give me 1 second. But yeah, it's not a bunch of Edomites or people like that just trying to run up on you and bash you over the head, and people trying to rob you, jack you, and this and that. Now, granted, those things do happen when you're on the highways and the byways. You know, those spirits do come up on you like that. But, you know, in a deeper sense, those are just those spirits using those vessels to act out. But nevertheless, you know, in your daily, everyday walk, you know, when you're not on the highways and the byways preaching or putting up videos, you know, you're going to be struggling from this and struggling from that. You're going to always have this here war, constantly just how do you say, just beating on the, beating his war drums, more or less to say. All right. It says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. All right. So again, this is a spiritual fight. This isn't an actual physical fight, you know, and this battle, again, like I said, is taking place inside the chains of darkness. What is that those chains of darkness? That's that vessel that you know, like I said, the angels was put in the chains of darkness, right? Well, the chains of darkness will be the vessel that, you know, that you call yourself, your body, all right, that your spirit is inhabiting, all right? Because your spirit want to do righteousness, but it's entrapped in that vessel, that vessel that's a magnet for wickedness, all right? And so, so again, you know, you being an angel, all right, your war is inside what? The chains of darkness, inside your body, inside your flesh, all right, inside that thing that you walking around with, you know? That's where you're going to have the most of your wars at, you know, whether it might be just the desires of the flesh, you know, man, I want to go out to this football game, or man, I want to go you know, fuck around with it. First of all, fuck around with this nigga's wife, you know, she a bad fat booty bitch, whatever, whatnot, you know what I'm saying? Hey man, look, that's you chained in them chains of darkness, because really, if you was in your righteous state in your spirit, you wouldn't even desire that. You wouldn't even look upon that like that. But because you in this stupid ass flesh, you know what I'm saying? That's the war that you with, you know? And, you know, and being a righteous man, you're supposed to rebuke that spirit, you know? You're supposed to be fighting against that. Nah, hell no. What the hell am I thinking, man? Hey, man, that shit is punishable by death, man. I don't even want no other man's woman, man. What kind of, you know, that's your constant war. That's your constant battle, you know? Again, you're not fighting another man over his woman. Hey, man, I'm about to actually physically fight you for this here woman. Nah, man, you fighting with your own self, you know, the thoughts and so on and so forth. Damn, this is a big booty bitch. I know she got a man, but maybe if I slide and talk to her the right way, you know, she might goddamn give your boy some play or some shit. Nah, man, that's the war you got to be at. You know, you like, you know what? That's a bad fat booty bitch. You know, but she got a man. But you know what? Yeah, fuck that. She got a man. That's where it ended. I don't give a damn how bad she is. She got a man. Hey, man, she off limits. You know what I'm saying? It says, this is Galatians chapter 5, verse 16. It says, this I say then, walk in the spirit and you shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. All right. And so, like I said, with the war that you having, you know, like if you continue on reading Ephesians chapter 6 from 12 on down, it tells you how to prepare yourself with the armor. You know, basically this is truth, you know, gird yourself with this, put this here on, you know, this is your armor, you know, walk spiritually, not after the flesh, like the spirit is saying here, you know, walk after the spirit, walk in the spirit and you should not fulfill the lust of the flesh, you know, if you have the spirit and understanding and you walking on the foundations of the scriptures, you know, when that thought come into the mind, in your mind of, man, that fat booty bitch over there, you know what I'm saying? She trying to give a nigga some play, even though she got a man, calling me up, talking about her man out of town or whatever, whatnot. You walking after the spirit, be like, you know what? That's an evil spirit trying to get me caught up, you know? That's some shit trying to get me to fall up off of, you know, off this path of righteousness, you know? That's just pure wickedness, you know? We don't need to be rocking like that, you know? Nah. You know what I'm saying? Like, one or two things. You rebuke that demon straight to his face. Bitch, don't you got a man? Why don't you stick with your man and rock it out that way? Or just ignore that bitch and keep it moving, you know? But nevertheless, that's where you know, that's where the confrontation happens, you know, with the spirit and the flesh, you know. You spiritually know what's right, but hey, carnally, your flesh, the way you was brought up and things, this and that, what you think is so cool and this and that. You know what I'm saying? And certain different things you're doing, Oh man, I want to go and buy me a new Rolls Royce Phantom or some big ass car, Well, why you want to do that, Man, because, it's a nice looking car, this and that. Oh, you want to be seen by men, that's the war between the spirit and the flesh, The flesh want that, but the spirit will be able to point out why you doing that, The spirit know, look, man, that you trying to feed the flesh, man, that ain't nothing spiritual, Verse 17, it says, for the flesh lusteth after the spirit, and the spirit after the flesh, and these are contrary the one to the other, so that they cannot do the things that ye would. All right, so this is like water and oil mixing one to another. You them angels, all right, the spirit that was casting these chains of darkness, all right, that was put in this here vessel, all right, that's corrupted, all right. This is the flesh, this where all this bullshit happened at, right here in the flesh. It's not the spirit. The spirit is righteous, all right. But you in these chains, you locked in this shit, You gonna do fleshly things, Wow, I want this big ass car. Oh, so everybody can look at me, so I can feel good in the flesh. It's not bringing me no kind of spiritual gain, man. If anything, it spiritually dehydrate me by making me proud and pleases of men more than pleases of the Most High, Verse 18, it says, but if you be led by the Spirit, you are not under the law. Okay, you walking in the Spirit, man. You're not gonna be doing all these things, being condemned by the sins of the law, by breaking the law, man. Hey, man, you know what's right and what's right, and you know what's wrong is wrong. You don't need to be doing these things that's contrary to what Yahweh Bashem Yahushua say. So therefore, you're not being condemned by the law. Therefore, be living in sin. Walking after the flesh. Really, I can get into. All right, so here's some of the things that are, you would do fleshly that you might be warring with your own flesh with, It says, now these are the works of the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanliness, lasciviousness. Like when you go out to the clubs and shit, and you see them like Elder Apostle Tahar, 2/3 of degenerates walking around with your damn panties on and your pussy lips hanging out and your ass cheeks and shit like that, Naturally, what the hell you think is gonna happen inside of a man's mind, So now his natural body, the natural chemical reactions is going off when you see a piece of fucking meat and you starving. The natural chemical reaction gonna happen. So this dude is getting horny and lusting after this fucking whore, and or some other man's woman, because she want to be a reprobate, going out with a man dressing like that anyway, that another man is going to sit over there and lust after this dirty bitch. You know what I'm saying? But see, this the war already popping off. It's bubbling in your mind, because it's natural. You see a woman and her body parts exposed, you being turned on and aroused by that, But see, you don't need to be going after no whore like that, for one. And two, hey, man, all these women, you just read the scriptures about these defiled ass women, man. You already know. But again, that's the war that you got, If you spiritual and being led by the Spirit, you would already know all these things. You would know what the scriptures say about these damn women, how destroyed they are and how destroyed how much they're gonna destroy your ass. You would know better than that. You would just be able to see through that. It would be easy to win that war. You would revert right back to the scriptures. All right, I see. All right, we got a bogey at 6 o'clock coming. She got on some goddamn some boy shorts, ass cheeks hanging out, camel toe sticking out. Low cut shirt on, titties popping out. She she halfway drunk, you know what I'm saying, and doing all kind of extra shit, pussy popping on the handstand, that type of shit, that part, she doing all that, you know what I'm saying. You'd be able to see that shit from a mile, man. This woman ain't nothing but a deep ditch, and her ways are just death and hell, man. She is a grave, a pit, man. Hey man, you don't want to get caught up in that. You should be able to see all that, It should be like, hey man, Bowie at 6 o'clock, this bitch coming in, put up your guards, arm the guards, arm the towers, take that bitch out. That's how I need to be, that battle, Hey man, fuck that. She about to have me destroyed, Let me, so on and so forth, It says idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulation, wrath, strife, sedition, heresies, envy, murder, drunkenness, reveling, and such like, which I tell you before, as I told you in times past, they do which such things shall not inherit the kingdom of Yahweh. So, these are some of the things, like I said, that, people could be warned with, you know, a lot of these things you shouldn't be warned with in the flesh, you know. Well, let me rephrase that. Just being, you know, 100% honest and humble in this, you know, because we was all in all these things, you know, and this is something that people have to, you know, get through their mind to kind of make the things easier, you know. None of us is perfect, man. None of us is perfect in this way, you know. Whatever your thing is, you know what your thing is. Like the scripture give you all these different examples, you know. Whether you chasing big booty women or whatever, whatnot, you know. You're not gonna be whatever your demons are, you know. You gotta constantly fight that and try to overcome that, you know. And you know, you're not gonna be perfect, so you're gonna have to deal with these things, you know. And I would imagine, you know, well, you know, people do idolatry and witchcraft and stuff like that, you know. Like I said, you shouldn't be doing none of these things, but truth be told, hey man, you know, it's even a sad thing to think about, you know, that some men would even be in the truth doing these things, but nevertheless, you know, it's written in the scriptures for a reason. You know, these are the things that men are warned with in their flesh, you know. You know what I'm saying? Hatred and violence or variance, you know, emulation, wrath, strife, sedition. You know, some brothers might have an attitude problem, not an attitude problem, but sometimes get how do you say, you know, variance with other brothers in the spirit, you know, and get hyped up in the spirit, you know, and you know, become argumentative or defensive with other brothers, you know. And that's just something that they have to work on, you know. And like, I can speak for my own self, you know. Sometimes, you know, I get too heated with this truth, you know, or like some people say, too passionate. I get too into it, you know. Be just straight fire and brimstone on their ass, you know. And then, you know, you have to learn to control that, you know. You have to understand that, you know, that this might be, you know, even though that it's for not so-called, but for edification's sake, you know, things that I'm bringing out is not for, out of, you know, hatred towards another brother or anything like that. But, you know, sometimes, how do I say, you know, sometimes that could be a hindrance. That could, you know, the devil is very crafty. He can use, you know, your passion and all that extraness for, against you, you know. There might be a time in a situation where somebody just might not want to, you know, hear that in that type of tone, you know what I'm saying? And then therefore the word ain't getting pushed out, you know, or so on and so forth, you know. Just any types of things can be going on, you know, anytime, you know, just, you know, you just have to learn how to balance yourself out. And these are the things you war with, you know. Like I said, for me and my own self, sometimes I have to watch my spirit and contain myself and control myself because, hey, man, we in the flesh. Sometimes, you know, you just want to let loose on these motherfuckers and not, you know, hey, whatever. But, hey, you have to sometimes control yourself, you know. You have to learn how to, you know, balance yourself, you know. And like I said, that could be one of your battles in the flesh that you constantly have to battle with, you know, until you know, we be made right. Let me see. Oh, yeah. This is Romans chapter 7, verse 15. It says, for that which I do allow not, for that which I do, I allow, I allow not. For what I would, that I do not, but what I hate, that I do. For then if I do that which I would not, I consent unto the law that it is good. Now, then it is no more that I do it, but the sin dwelleth in me. For I know that in me, that is my flesh, dwelleth no good thing, for the will is present with me, but how to perform that which is good I find not. It says, for the good that I would, I do not, for the evil which I would not, that I do. Now if I do that what I had not, it is no more that I do it, but the sin doeth it in me. All right. Now, I just wanted to read all the way through that because it's kind of a hard thing to read, you know, the way it's kind of worded. But long story short, you know, what is being said here is the fact that, listen, the things that I want to do, you know, being a man of the Lord and spiritually, you know, being a man of the Lord, put it this way, being a man of the Lord, you know, a true, genuine, sincere man of the Lord want to be 100% righteous in all the things that they do. You know, not, you know, don't get it mixed up with saying, oh, I want to be 100% right and on point with everything I say. You know, fuck being knowledgeable among men. We want to be, I don't give a damn how knowledgeable I am in front of men, as long as I'm not going off of what the Most High said and disrespecting him and going against his laws, statutes, commandments. That'll be the end all be all for me. Let me just be righteous before the Lord. Everything else is just, you know, I don't give a damn about that. You know, I could be retarded. As long as I'm following the laws, statutes, commandments all the way through, righteous before the Most High, we good to go. You know what I'm saying? So all of us is all the men of the Lord, desire to be, pure righteous, So in the minds of the men of the Lord, it's like, hey man, look, I desire to do good, but obviously, like he said here, it says, for I know that in me that it is in my flesh. All right. So he know inside, I know deep inside that it's just my flesh, and inside the flesh dwelleth no good thing. All right. So he know, like what's being spoken here is like, he know that, hey, listen, I want to do good. I want to do that what is righteous. But damn, I wound up damn, why did I do that? Why did I do this? Why did I slip there? How could I do this? Blah, 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 blah. Why do I keep finding myself getting weak in this area or whatever, whatnot, for example, you might want to put up a video or something like that. And then you get tired or lazy or get distracted by something, I'm about to go put up this here video. And then you come across something, you come across a different kind of video on YouTube or something, some folly or something, or not even follow. You could be watching the truth. Now you're getting caught up in, watching video after video after video. You never got to go do the video, like, damn, now look how much time passed. I got to go do this and go do that. In my spirit, I wanted to go do the video, but my flesh, I was tired. Hey, I was eating at the table, I was doing this and doing that, So, you desire to be righteous, and even something not even on that level, you might be doing something, that is going off as far as in the flesh, like we was reading, the things that the desires of the lust of the flesh, more or less to say, you doing things like that, you find yourself doing stuff like that, like, damn, I want to do righteous, this is why, hey, I keep calling out for repentance, man. I'm trying to change my ways. I'm trying to do this, trying to do that. This is what your struggle and your fight is, for we wrestle not with flesh and blood, but principalities and spiritual wickedness in high places, and also the angels that was reserved in chains of darkness, This is what you're fighting against, you're fighting against all these different things inside your body, and the key point is, you have to understand that you have to understand, we all understand, not to say we all understand, but you have to understand that, not to say this is acceptable, but this is part of the thing, you're going to be warned with certain things in the flesh. You're going to be warned with this. You're going to be warned with that, but a lot of these things also drive you to pray for certain things even more. So like, let's say, again, like you doing videos, right? You plan on putting up a video or whatever, whatnot. Then you get distracted by another video or something else. You get distracted whatever kind of way you get distracted. Now, let's just say the same distraction is the same type of distraction that always gets you, And then now you starting to realize that, damn, every time I go to do a video, I get hit with this distraction, that distraction, this distraction, boom, 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 or the same one, And then, you start realizing that now you're on your knees praying, Lord, listen, I realize that I keep fucking up right here. And, I pray that I pray that you allow me to overcome this here obstacle. I keep stumbling at the stumbling block and I need to fix that, I need to come up out of that. So I need to, pray that I overcome that obstacle every time I see it on the road. Every time I get ready to go do a video, I pray for the will, to just go ahead and go do it, and just to, how do I say, not to say the motivation, but just to go and go do it, let me go ahead and do thy will instead of just going over here and procrastinating, so, these are some of the things that you can look and learn from your own battles, man. This is how you getting stronger. You got to learn how and where you fucking up at, but if you keep, constantly just fucking up and sometimes you win in the battles, sometimes you lose in the battles, and you're not really making no progress, Once you start learning all these things, like, listen, bruh, this hell gonna come every week. It's gonna come in a different form and so on and so forth. And most of the time it's learning processes, learning steps that I got to get through and get on and whatever, whatnot, it's a process that I got to go through, once you learn all of that, you know what I'm saying? And then you learn that, okay, this gonna be the shit we gonna be going through. The war is right here inside this here body, man. I'm gonna be warring my flesh all the goddamn time. So once you realize that, now you know how who your enemy is. Now you know how to attack your enemy. All right. Now you know how. Now you over here just bombing indiscriminately. You don't know who actually attacking you. You need to find out who attacking you. All right. And that would be you and your own self. Once you realize that, like, all right. So the war, the battlegrounds is right here in this here flesh. All right. Let me stop trying to take it to so on and so forth. For example, Esau over here hitting us with all kind of witchcraft from the TV and advertisements and so on and so forth. And I just keep spending money on whatever kind of advertisement shit he advertised. Nah, man, stop trying to fight the war out there. Bring the war closer to home. Fight it on the inside. First of all, hey, man, rebuke that spirit that's got you falling for all this bullshit anyway, man. Hey, look, man, Lord willing, I either stay home and stop falling into all this advertisement and buying into whatever the fuck they selling and whatnot, you know, that I spend my time doing, you know, that was how do I say, beneficial to the Lord's work, you know. I pray that I do that was profitable unto that, you know, instead of being sidetracked and distracted by these advertisements, you know, that I keep buying into, you know. And so once you, like I said, once you can understand, you know, how things gonna roll and certain things and stuff like that, you can get better at it. And once you can realize where your enemy is at in the battlegrounds, that now you can study your enemy. All right, now you know how to you can study the battlegrounds, right? And then you know how they have home field advantage. You know, now you know his territory. You know how to get him now. All right, now I know I'm weak in this area, in this part of the flesh, so I need to watch that shit before I slip, man. I know I always do this bullshit, you know. I know I got a weakness with scratch off lotto tickets, you know. So maybe I need to limit my time going into the store. Or maybe when I go to the store, I need to know exactly what I'm going to buy, when I'm going to buy, how I'm going to buy it. Nah, I don't want no lotto tickets, you know. Even if I got to tell that to the store clerk every time I go in there. I want 5 on pump 10 and no, I don't want no lotto tickets. You know what I'm saying? And even if you got to do that, that's part of your war and your battle, you know. So that's where you're going to be battling it out at, all right? It says 1 Corinthians 15 and 50, it says, now I say this, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of Yahweh, neither does corruption inherit incorruption. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall rise incorruptible, and we shall be changed. For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass that saying which is written, death is swallowed up in victory. All right, so the important part here I wanted to bring out was, for this incorruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. So this corruptible vessel that you in, these chains of darkness, all right, this here body that you in, all right, the flesh, all right, you ain't gonna be able to go into the kingdom of heaven with this here body, man, because again, it's corruptible. It's gonna constantly keep going off, man. It's designed that way. All right, these them chains of darkness that we was reserved into judgment into. All right, so no matter what you do, no matter how hard it is, you always have this battle. You know, and if you ain't on your P's and Q's, you're gonna lose every time. You know, and then in your victories, you're gonna just scarcely make each one of your victories. You know, so we're gonna need something a little bit, how do I say, a little bit more better than that, because hey, man, we constantly fighting, man. It's like you in a battlefield on a real, you know, battlefield fighting it out, and you the last soldier standing, you know, and the troops, you gunning them down, you know, you knocking these motherfuckers down, you killing them off and shit, right? But, you know, they keep replenishing soldiers on the battlefield, but it's just you know, and you only got a certain amount of bullets, you know. You wasting motherfuckers left and right, but now you realizing, damn, bro, I only got 3 more clips left, you know. Now you only going for headshots, and you realizing, like, bro, I don't know how much longer I can sustain this, you know. I'm going to need to either call reinforcements or something. You know, you got to find something now, all right? And we're going to figure out what that is. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 31, verse 33. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith Yahweh. Okay, so this is the new covenant, all right, that the Most High is about to make with the children of Israel when we receive this here salvation, all right? And like we just was reading about how, you know, to inherit the kingdom of heaven, you got to take off this corruptible body, you know, and you got to be changed, all right? And so this is part of that, they're changed, because we're in this corruptible body subject to sin and going off, all right? This is what the Most High is going to do for us. You know, like the analogy I was giving about you being in the battlefield, all right? You realize you only got 3 clips left. You got to figure something out, and this is the plan, all right? It says, but this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith Yahweh. I will put my law in the inward parts, okay? Now, the importance of that is you know, what is sin, you know? The transgression of the law. You going off from the law is sin, you know? And sin, and the wages of sin is what? Death. That's why we die. That's why we go off. Why we corrupted. Why we mortal. All right, we die because of these reasons. All right, but the Most High said, "Look, I will put my laws in your inward parts." All right, we're gonna be pre-programmed with this. All right, we're gonna be pre-programmed with this here law. All right, and I will write in their inward parts, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people. All right, so the Most High, he gonna take those angels up out those chains of darkness. All right, we no longer gonna be walking around in this so-called flesh. We're not gonna be subjected to this, to the lust of the flesh, this bullshit. We're not gonna be subjected. If there was a scenario like this to ever happen, man, you could walk into a room full of like straight hundreds on a scale of 1 to 10s, big fat booty bitches, booty hanging out all kind of just all the shit that you might even be into, right? But all of them is married and all of them horny as fuck trying to get with you. Just like, please, if you look at me, I'm gonna have sex with you type of shit, And you walk into that room, you know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? You just be like, you know what? As soon as before you even walk into the direction of the room, you just be like, yo, that shit's wicked. We ain't rocking like that, That's how it's gonna be, as an exaggeration of an example, we know it ain't gonna be like that. But, with the laws written on the inward part, you be like, I smell a whole bunch of married women up in there. I ain't got no business in there because they ain't got shit to do with me. And ain't nothing good gonna come from that, The law is gonna be written in our inward parts. So we ain't gonna have to think about it twice, Neither is nobody gonna have to teach you all this. This is gonna be instinctually inside of you, You're gonna see certain things and this is gonna tell you because it's gonna be written inside of you. You're not gonna have that temptation or that lust, You're not gonna, like that analogy I was giving, you're not even gonna have that desire to walk inside that damn building full of all those women and then be looking around at them and be like, damn, that's not even gonna be in you. If anything, it's gonna be in you to go the complete opposite. Be like, yo, what's up with all these married women out and about like this? This is some bullshit. Y'all need to be in the house with y'all husband. It's just gonna be pre-programmed in you to be like that. All right. The Most High gonna write all the laws in your inward parts, and what's that gonna do for you in return? All right. We're gonna close out with this. With the Most High writing the laws in our inward parts. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 60, verse 21. Thy people also shall be all righteous. They shall inherit the land forever in the branch of my plant and the works of thy hand, that I might be glorified. All right. The point I wanted to get to, thy people also shall be all righteous. All right. So like I was just saying, the law, like the scripture just said, the law is going to be written in our inward parts. And the effect of that is going to be what? All our people going to be righteous. All right. We're not going to go off no more. We're not going to sin no more. We're not going to have that war in our flesh no more, man. We're not going to be lusting after the things of the flesh, man. We're not going to be desiring other men's women. We're not going to be desiring a death lifestyle, like following after Esau and all the other bullshit that fall up under all this shit, That's just, you just say that and that just encompass everything here, We're not going to be desiring none of this stuff, We're not going to be desiring to go off, We're not going to desire any of these temptations or none of these things, And that day when we receive salvation, the Most High is going to write his laws in our inward parts and we're going to all be righteous. You're not going to ever have that wicked desire inside your body no more. You're not going to be feeling the way you feel no more. How you feel now, you be all vexed and depressed and all this and all that. That's because, man, this is heavy on you. You got all these different wicked desires on you, and then you always got to see, man, fuck that, that's wicked. This old wicked ass bitch, yeah, I would love to go over there and smash the fuck out of homegirl, but man, this old wicked ass bitch, look what she doing. This slut whore ran through all kind of just loose women, but you know what I'm saying, that you ain't gonna have that battle no more, you're gonna be all righteous on your inward parts, like I said, this is a heavy thing to be walking around with today, and we all vexed with it. Hey man, we in these chains of darkness, man. This is our punishment, but at the same time, this is something to look forward to, This is the only real cure for all of this. You're going to always constantly be with this battle, Like I said, you're going to win some and you're going to scarcely win some and you're going to lose some, But at the end of the day, you got to keep that fight, enduring to the end, that we might be saved, that we might receive this here reward, that, when we be changed, that the laws be written in our inward parts, that we don't go off no more. We don't have to worry about this struggle no more, this battle no more. All right. With that, Lord willing, this here lesson was edifying. Until next time, I say, call halal Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rakar Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that taught me this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you. I can push this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth. Stay strong. Shalom.